All right. Well, this is Trevor Crane. Welcome to another Daily Dose of Greatness Quest. Today, my son was born. So the subject for today is about the birth of an idea, to see your dreams come true, to reap what you sow, to harvest what you plant, and we're in the middle of seeing that. So I'll see you in a second. Know you'll love today's episode.
Cowboy.
Welcome to a Daily Dose of Greatness Quest with your host, Trevor Crane, my daddy. He's going to help you take your life and business to the next level.
Here I come to save the day.
Trevor Crane here, 11-time #1 best-selling author and the founder of Epic Author Publishing, coming to you live every day so you can plug in every day to build your ideal business so you can live your ideal life.
If my daddy can do it, then anybody can do it because he's a weirdo.
You're supposed to make me sound cool.
All right. No kidding. Today, my son was born. I'm in the hospital as we speak. It is, he was born this morning at 2:37 a.m. I'm wearing the little bracelet that the hotel gives you, not the hotel, the hospital gives you to wear around your wrist, and you're not supposed to take that off until you leave the hospital. So I know exactly when my son was born. And it was quite an ordeal. For the last 5 years, my wife and I have been trying to get pregnant. We have been trying to start our family. We thought that it was going to be easy. We spent our entire single lives trying not to get pregnant. And then we got married. And after a couple of years said, okay, it's time to now start our family. And it wasn't as easy as we thought. So my wife had just turned 40, and so believe it or not, they call it a geriatric birth, like they treat you like you're an elderly person or something. But my wife is gorgeous, and she looks healthy as hell. Like she looks like she's more like she's 30 years old than 40 years old. And we had big plans. When my first daughter was born, and she was born when, she's 10 years old now. And she was born to a woman I was in love with, but not my wife right now. She was a love child. My first daughter was born in my backyard in my jacuzzi. We had a midwife team that was going to come out and help us. We had this whole natural birthing plan, and basically everything worked out the way we planned it. So 10 years ago, I had this experience, and I invited my daughter to the world. Now, last night, though, we had our baby early hours of this morning, we had our baby in the hospital. This was not our plan. So here's the thing. I thought that today's subject about really seeing the birth of an idea that you have, or harvesting the goal, like getting the reward of what you really want, I thought it was really relevant because this has been a significant journey for us to go ahead and make this happen. My wife, for 5 years, has tried to get pregnant, and we tried everything. I don't know if we tried everything, but we did acupuncture, acupressure. We did a lot of Western medicine things. We did in vitro. We did all kinds of different things. I had to have the walk of shame where I have to jack off into a test tube, a little specimen cup, and then go walk that very measly portion of semen back to the nurses and hand it to them. And this is a miracle baby. This is a baby that we grew in a test tube, literally. And he had some potential other brothers and sisters that were going to make it too, but they didn't make it. For years we tried, and finally this one little magic baby took place. See, I think this is very relevant because when you set a goal, when you get clear that you want something, shit happens. Stuff stands in your way. That your plan, whatever your plan is not going to pass once you engage. It's not going to stay the same plan once you engage the enemy. I got to figure out who wrote that quote because that was an amazing quote. That whatever great plan you have, the how you think you're going to achieve whatever it is you're going to achieve is probably going to be significantly different than you think it's going to be. In fact, it is quite likely going to be a hell of a lot more work than you think it's going to be. But here's what I believe, and this is something that has helped me stay sane when the going gets tough. But I truly believe that everything works out the way that it's supposed to be. And I think that the world is conspiring to your benefit. That the world is conspiring to my benefit. See, had we made a lot of decisions just to get pregnant. We finally got pregnant. We had made all these decisions to have this really cool natural childbirth, very much similar to the way I had one before, at my house. I have a brand new home in Florida, and we have a really nice jacuzzi in the backyard. And I'm like, oh, my God, this is going to be great. I've already done this. I know how to do this. Hey, I got the goal once. I know how to get it again. Like, my daughter was born into my hands with nobody else present. It was just me and my woman, and my daughter was born into my hands. Everything worked out perfectly. It was magic. It was amazing. However, this time, my wife and I had significant challenges. We hired a midwife team, and that midwife team failed us. They had horrible communication. We ended up firing them halfway through the process, or even further along than that. We had a significant amount of challenges and bullshit, and we hired, because of my wife's advanced age of 40, whopping age of 40, the doctors, the midwives, were concerned about a couple of the variables of this being a healthy birth. And my wife and I did not want to deliver this baby in the hospital. But I'm here to tell you that it is a freaking blessing that we were in the hospital for the last couple of days to deliver this baby. Had we not been here, I don't know what would have happened. I mean, had we not made every choice that got us here, all of the things that we did for hypnobirthing because we wanted to do this naturally, those things served us today in the hospital. All the things that we did with the midwife team to prepare to have this baby naturally at home, all these things prepared my wife to have this phenomenal birthing experience. And last night, we ended up doing, because we'd had this whole natural plan, we had to make the decision about whether or not we were going to go unnatural. My wife had to get on a Pitocin dip. She was 11 days over her due date, and she got in this drip of Pitocin, this drug that they give women to go ahead and induce labor. Because if you're over 40 weeks, apparently every day that goes by is a potential day that your baby's in danger. And they're starting to think that she was actually 11 days over her delivery date by the time we just gave birth this morning. But here's the thing. Our experience at the hospital, while it is not what we had planned, was the most amazing, magical, fantastic, happy experience I ever would have believed. But here's the first tip I want to give you today about when you set a big goal and you want to go ahead and accomplish your dreams. You want to harvest what you plant. You want to reap what you sow. My advice to you is to be specific about what you want. That's number one. What is amazing to me is after this baby was born today, my wife and I had actually written down a list of all the things that we wanted to have happen when we delivered this baby. We knew we wanted it to be a happy, healthy baby. Okay? That's one of the things we knew. We wrote it down. We wrote down that we wanted this to be an easy birth, an easy, simple, healthy birth. Okay? And so we wrote that down. We wrote down that we wanted the midwife team that supported us to be proud and like, oh, my God, I have never seen a more amazing birth. And then they complimented us about how awesome we were as birthing parents, me being the coach and my wife being the deliverer. Well, here's what's crazy. Although we delivered in the hospital, which was not our plan, see, every how that we came up with did not work out. Basically, every how. We bought all this stuff for the house. We hired a midwife team. We did all of these different things to go ahead and prepare for a natural childbirth. Instead, we ended up having it in the hospital. We ended up using drugs to initiate it. And then my wife decided to get on to get an epidural because of the advanced pain that she was having or we were anticipating her to have because of this induced labor. So all these things we did not want. But the thing is that we were still committed to the result of what we wanted, which was a happy, healthy baby and an easy, fun birth, or something that was going to be pleasurable instead of misery. So instead of staying the course with our plan, because we had a plan, we're going to deliver this baby at home, but it didn't work out. We had a plan to go ahead and have this baby delivered naturally, and that didn't work out. We had a plan to make sure we did it without drugs, and that didn't work out. But we were willing to adjust the plan. And again, thank God we did. See, what happened is we went to Tampa General Hospital. We ended up with a suite with a beautiful view over the ocean. And my wife spent the next 36 hours in labor or going through the different things to induce labor and make it happen. And we opted to work with, to do the drugs. We opted to have my wife go on the epidural. And what ended up happening overall is that the midwife, they have a midwife team at Tampa General Hospital that supported us. The midwife that helped us actually deliver the baby. The nurse that was assigned to us in the hospital, these were the two most loving, caring women we had met. Of all the people that we had worked with over the last year, 9 months, to go ahead and deliver this baby, these two were the most amazing people we had met, and they were there at the hospital to support us. And they helped us support an experience where my wife loved because of the epidural that she was given. Yes, she was able to feel the pressure, but my wife was able to smile and be present instead of suffering and in pain to deliver this child. Now, this child was born over 9 pounds. This is like a 9.4 pound kid, like 9 pounds 4 ounces, pretty much. And my wife had to push this sucker out on her own. And I'm telling you guys and gals, this was one of the scariest things I've had to witness. So my baby was born before. This baby just popped out. Like, I didn't have to do much. I did my little part. I caught this baby. There's this whole cool story about it. I'll tell you another time because it's kind of funny. But what I think is crazy here is the things that the goals that we set, we actually achieved. The things that we wrote down that we said we wanted. We have this perfect, happy, healthy baby boy. His name, by the way, is Maverick Caleb Crane. And we have, but the midwife team complimented my wife about her breathing techniques, and they'd never seen somebody do such a good job, and they were so complimentary. When the gentleman came in to give the epidural, I was actually coaching my wife through some of the contraction pains that she was having, and the gentleman interrupted, like he was like, oh my God, he's like, who are you? And like, he asked us several times. All the nurses that came in to support us were complimenting us about how phenomenal we were with taking care of each other and the birth, and he was asking me time and time again, like, what do you do for a living? I mean, how are you supporting her so well? I wish I was recording this. All of the compliments that we were thinking we wanted to have, we got. This happy, healthy baby with my wife to deliver with a smile on her face, we got. We got everything we wanted, but not the way that we thought we would get it. Instead, the world was conspiring to our benefit, and we got not what we wanted, but we got what we needed, or I don't know how you put it. But like, you know what? We were specific about the result we wanted, and then we ended up getting. So I hope that you trust that even though you're going to have challenges in front of you, like, and hey, it took us 5 years to get to this point. Today is the culmination of a dream that we had 5 years ago to start growing our family. With so many challenges along the way, I can't even describe the cost of money, energy, resources, pain, suffering, tears. We lost a child along the way. Where my wife was pregnant with twins, and we lost one of them. Like, all of that culminated today. And what happened, the magic that happened, it wasn't exactly the way that we had wanted it, but instead it was perfect. So here I want to give you a little strategy, and I pulled this from one of my books. Actually, this is a strategy I use all the time. I got it from one of my high-level mentors that I work with, and then I modified it to make it really simple for you and I to go and apply something. So if you want to get a result you've never gotten before, I got it all worked out for you. There's 3 little tips. Number 1, be specific. Okay? Be specific about what you want. My wife had to remind me that some of the things that we had written down that we wanted actually came true today because I had forgotten. I'm like, what? I didn't even think of that. It was amazing. And I've done this before. I wrote down in my journal years ago, before I even met my wife, what my definition of my dream woman would be. And I wrote down who she was, who she wasn't, who I needed to be to attract her. And when I was dating my wife, we almost broke up at one stage. I went back to that journal and I read it. And literally my wife was everything on that list except for she didn't have big boobs. And now she's pregnant. She's got really big boobs. So call me shallow. But whatever. So it was crazy. I got all those things. So be specific about what you want and be careful what you wish for. So you need to make sure you do you're very specific. Now, step number 2, and this is crazy. This is do nothing. See, here's the thing. In the past, and I believe this, like I think you should take massive action. I want you to go out there and do it. But see, the challenge is that the patterns we've been running up until now, before we go get this new thing we really want, are not necessarily the patterns that are going to get us what we need. So instead of going out and taking this massive action and going and do something that might be in the wrong damn-ass direction, first of all, I want you to do this do nothing step. Do nothing, meaning you want to stop, think, and breathe. See, I'm also a scuba instructor. I went up through scuba instructor school, they told us the most important rule of scuba diving is to breathe, because if you don't and somebody holds their breath underwater and they swim from the bottom of the ocean all the way up to the top, their brain's going to explode. They get embolism, like you'll die, literally. So not breathing, stopping breathing means death. So they say, they say always breathe. But then if you have an accident underwater, you start to get scared underwater or something happens and you get tangled up or you get lost or whatever, like if you start to panic, the rule of thumb is to stop, think, and breathe. See, it wasn't to go ahead and swim to the surface. It's not to hold your breath and freak out. It's not to go ahead and swim faster. It was to stop, think, and breathe. So see, when you get clear and you get specific about what it is you want, the next thing I want you to do is pause. You know, every day I meditate. Every day I have quiet time. Every day I'm looking for new mentors. Every day I stop and think about the path I'm going to take before I go take it. See, if you're going to build a dream house, I use this reference all the time when I help people write books. I don't recommend that book writers just start writing a book. They just start writing. You'll pick up a pen and start writing. That's not my strategy at all. Because if you're thinking about a house, you know, are you just going to go start, I'm going to go build my dream house. Are you going to go out in your backyard and start nailing shit together with hammer and nails? Like, it doesn't make sense. The first thing you need to do is you have to get a plan. And you have to think about it. And so I want you to stop, think, and breathe first. And then step number 3, and do nothing has a lot more elements. Like, I want you to delete things. I want you to delegate things. I got this whole other strategy to it, but I want to be brief here. The third thing that you need is you need to have a map. That is your massive action plan. And see, instead of you going out and, like in step number 2, you could just go take this massive action on whatever the hell you think you need to go do. I advise that you go find a mentor who already has a proven map or a blueprint. See, what's crazy is you can build your own blueprint. You can go in and learn AutoCAD and design your own house. You could do that. It might take you a couple of decades. You could also hire an architect who could design your dream house. That would be a hell of a lot easier. You know what you could also do? You could find blueprints that are already created by architects that already have your dream house in there, and you just pick one, and then you have the builder go build that with you. So having the blueprint first is so important. And then, you need to get down and take some massive action. And I find that the fastest way to get that done is to find a mentor who can help you and support you. So here's my challenge for you today. Real quickly, I want you to go ahead and think of something that you want really badly. And then my challenge for you is to write it down. And then I'm going to take it just a step further. Write it down in your success journal. Be specific, like I just said. I want you to think about it. I want you to actually take some action with this. But here's the thing. With the writing it down part, see, the thing is that your message matters. Your words matter. They matter to you. They matter to the people that you love. They matter to the people that you want to love that aren't even in your life yet, like children and wives and husbands and things that you want to plan, business partners and friends that you want to have and mentors that you want to experience in the future. See, your words, the things that you say, and this is why it's so important for you to write it down, will help you create that or push those things and those people away. So your message matters not just to the world, but to you, and yes, to the world, the people you care about and all the people that you want to help. So here's my challenge to you, if you take it to the next level, is to become an author. You know, publish your book. Draw a line in the sand. I'm grateful enough today to be celebrating the fact that I have 11 #1 best-selling books. Some of them are kids' books that I wrote, co-authored with my daughter. They're very cute. But my daughter has 9. She's 10 years old. She has 9 #1 best-selling books, and she's working on her 10th. And here's the thing. I want to help you. This is what I do. I've been a business consultant for 15 years. I basically went into businesses, or if they people that wanted to start a business or they already had one, they said, Trevor, can you help me make more money? That's basically what they said. They might have said a lot of different stuff, but they wanted to make a profit. And what I found after years of doing this, I finally published my first books, and you probably heard me talk about this in the past. But the first year I published my book, and I found a mentor to help me get this done. I didn't do it on my own. It took me 20 years to publish my first book. But the first year, my wife and I 10x'd our income. We added a 0 to the back of our income because we got clear about how to write a great book, how to use it turn it into our most powerful marketing tool, and how to make a bunch of money with it, all at the same time of meeting our mission. All happened simultaneously in the course of a year. And I thought, this is so good. And see, I've always learned that if I do something myself and I think it's amazing, I want to share it with others. I thought scuba diving was cool, so I became a scuba instructor. I thought traveling around the world was cool, so I created an adventure tours company. I thought writing a book was one of the coolest, fastest ways I've ever grown my income and my brand and my business and my ability to reach other people and help them. And I thought, I need to start a publishing company so I can help others. So if you don't know this yet, you can go to epicauthor.com and you can check out my whole book program, and I can help you write a great book, turn it into your most powerful marketing tool, make a bunch of money with it before your book ever gets written. That's really not even what today was about. Today was about you setting a vision for something and getting a dream and hopefully spending a day, one day in the future when you are seeing the birth of your ideas come true. That's where I am today. I'm in a hospital bathroom recording this for you in Tampa General Hospital on the date of my son's birth. This is his birthday, and I look forward to you having a birthday of some idea, something that you love, someone that you love coming true in the future. And again, this is Trevor Crane with Greatness Quest. This has been a Daily Dose. I want to see you every single day on the Daily Dose. Make sure you plug in, and if you like this episode, share it with someone you care about. If you please leave us a like or and subscribe, like on iTunes and subscribe on iTunes. And I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Make it a great day.
To get even more awesomeness, which means all my best stuff, download my app by texting Trevor to 36260. It will show up right on your cell phone. Just text message the word Trevor to 36260. Talk to you soon.